It's Offside with Hawes and McGuire.
Wow.
It's Offside with Hawes and McGuire. I'm Hawes.
That was loud.
Was that too loud? Yeah.
I'm McGuire.
Okay. Well, yeah, it was loud too.
Yeah.
So, brought to you by Redneck Lager. So today I'm drinking I like the lager of the Redneck Lager.
Yeah.
Just so you know. But Redneck Brewers, you're drinking
I'm drinking the hazy IPA, and you know what? Kind of looks like one of Don Cherry's suits.
It does look like Don Cherry's suit, yeah.
So I'm going to drink the hazy IPA today.
Yeah, good. And you like that?
I do.
Yeah,
I like the hazy IPA. Got it right here. You gave me one. And,
So,
I'm going to give her a go. It's very nice.
Okay, so here we are in mid-December.
Yep.
This is likely our last episode before the Christmas.
Yeah.
So first of all,
Yeah.
Right off the top, we got to talk about the hockey pool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have a listing of where the hockey pool fucking hasn't moved really.
Really, I'm
It's
telling
unbelievable.
you, it's crazy. I can't get higher than 15th.
Yeah, and
I'm stuck.
I moved to 12.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's there. And Adel and I found out who Wayne's World is. It's Chris Baird. I don't know if you know him.
The name sounds familiar.
He lives nearby. He lives in Manitic. He was I kind of know him from years ago. He married a girl that used to go to school at Pius with Kristen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So and he's a good hockey player. That's all. Okay. I do know that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he's in second place, followed by Chuck. And so everyone seems to be doing well, but there's not a lot of movement. We're looking. No. We need some injuries. We need some injuries. We need some just to make it exciting.
Come on, damn it.
And so I have. Oh, this is a major announcement. I forgot to.
Shit.
So you know how our prize this year is going to be a golf trip to PEI.
Yeah.
Not to Ireland. Okay, because we didn't get enough people.
Yeah.
Okay, we were doing.
Yep.
So, but what I've done, rather than having to organize and do everything myself, what I've done, I've partnered with Club EG.
Okay.
You know Club EG?
No.
The Ottawa Golf company?
I don't think
so. Oh, yeah, they do. They run events all over Ottawa, like the Scramble and a whole bunch of things. Okay. So I partnered with them. Okay. Who, by the way, a lot of the guys who are with that, who are like part of that, in the wintertime, they're refs. Okay. And I can't believe I'm working with a ref in a nice way. But anyhow, so
this could help you, maybe.
Absolutely. I hope so. But anyway, partner with them. So we're sending them with the group from Club EG who are going to PEI the first weekend of August. Okay. So that's the date. Is the person's going to win? He's going to go in August to PEI with the larger group from Club EG. Okay. And
you're talking about our winner now.
Our winner from the hockey pool.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it. So it's a major announcement. We're helping, and so I've got to thank the folks from Club EG for helping us out with that. Pretty exciting. So moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on to, we should talk hockey at some point, but I got something to tell you. Okay, talking about things in the news.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Okay, so things it'll be a week old by the time this airs, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Ottawa Senators owner,
yes,
Michael Andlauer, fucking calls out the New York Rangers. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so I got to ask you, what do you think? I mean, everyone's going, "Oh, do you think that it was tampering? What do you think what is even tampering?" My question to you is, do you think it's
well
tampering?
Phrased, actually, that's a good way to put it. What exactly is tampering? Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. Larry Brooks. Is a Hall of Fame
reporter. Yeah, I thought he was fucking dead though.
Well, I mean, some people may have thought so. John Tortorella maybe wanted to kill him a couple times. A few things like that.
But he's got to be fucking 80 years old.
He's probably getting up there. I don't want to be 80, but I don't know his age, but he'd be up there. He's been doing it a long time. I don't know his background per se, but I've been in and out of the media myself for 34 years on. I mean, when I first started doing full-time, part-time radio in 91, obviously I was doing shows in the 80s, but I was just a guest. Brooksy's always around, seemingly. But I mean, he went on, interestingly enough, Chris, spitting chiclets, and they brought him on, hot topic of the du jour, and he cited that, or stated that he had 3 sources. Mm-hmm. So he went public and doubled down and said, "Hey, you're not calling me out. No one's calling me out. I got my sources," which of course he's not going to reveal.
Right.
So this whole thing has even, like you said, by the time people see our show, and even as we tape it right now, it's kind of already moving to the back burner. But I think it behooved us to have a comment on it. It is Ottawa. We're in Ottawa.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your thoughts? So first of all,
I think the Rangers tampered, and I don't think there's any way to prove it.
That's right. So basically,
when I say tampered, it goes back to what you said originally. What is tampering? I don't think they went and put it out there and said, "Hey, by the way, drop a little nugget that we're going after Brady." What are you going to do? He's in year 4 of 7 of a contract.
Yeah.
It's anyways. I guess
you know what? There's a difference between it's a like to have. Fuck. Okay. Honestly, love to have Brady Tkachuk on your team. You know what I like in this too? Susie likes you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Do you like her?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Well, I don't know. Does Susie really like me? Well, does Jimmy like me? Holy fuck, it's kindergarten shit.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Yeah. We you know what? Absolutely, the New York Rangers want a player like Brady Tkachuk, and he would fit in perfectly there, but he's not property of the fucking New York Rangers.
No.
So I think that Ann Lauer was right to say, fucking back off.
Absolutely.
Quit dropping that shit. And I'm very I'm very supportive of him saying that, because frankly, he's been fucked over by the NHL for the first fucking 3 things that have happened. Yeah, at the governor's meetings and everything like that. They've not gone his way, and he's had to suck it up.
Yeah.
So now he's like, okay, you know what? Fucking back off, right? And the NHL's not going to investigate. They're not going to do anything because it's been there. Now it's now, but Brady Tkachuk knows, fuck, the Rangers are a possibility in my next contract negotiations.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes. I'd go to New York in a heartbeat.
Would you? Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let's just move things along here, hypothetically. Brady's got 3 years left after this year. We all saw what his brother did.
Yeah.
Wanting out of Calgary, and how that worked.
Yeah.
Well, it's got a Stanley Cup ring out of it right now.
Yeah.
But there was speculation a year ago that there was some chatter that maybe, at some point in time.
But it was not New York. That was New York again.
Well, or St. Louis was.
Oh, was it?
Rumor,
okay.
Because they're St. Louis boys.
Because they're St. Louis boys.
This is before, or maybe it was before, because Matthew hadn't gone to Florida yet.
But there was talk last year about New York and Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And right now they're sucking right now. I mean, they're in a tailspin. And they just kind of came off.
Well, they fucking they you know what?
They beat Buffalo, but everybody has. But
yeah.
they're in a tailspin right now. But my question to you is: Do you think if the Senators were to miss the playoffs this year, and let's say maybe next?
Oh, he's gone. Yeah,
now
of course
there's
he's going to be
only
gone.
2 years to go. Would Brady Tkachuk start to
ask for a
himself
trade?
Start to say, "Hey,
well,
I want to get out of here"?
Here's the thing. I say that all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think right now, Tkachuk is the leader of this team. He's a big, big fish in this little pond. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is not a bad place to play hockey.
No.
It's a very supportive community.
Now we're going to raise a family here. Start one anyway.
So exactly. So now, that being said, okay, now that Jimmy knows that Susie likes him.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, So, now New York Rangers have got to then come formally to the Ottawa Senators and say, we really want Brady Tkachuk. And here's what we're going to offer you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they can do this, whether or not, but here is Mika Zibanejad back. Here is, you know what I mean? All these guys, we could help build the team. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, we already let Trouba go. But go through that whole thing. Oh, and a bag of money.
Yeah.
Right, like the McNall Wayne Gretzky deal. Or the Pocklington Gretzky deal.
Yeah, but Angelauer isn't Melnick, or
No, but you know what? if you find a way to beef up your team, and that money could go well into the support staff and things that could help the team succeed more.
I don't see it being. I think that the only thing in all this, because the tampering stuff now is dead and buried and gone. My only question is, what happens here if Ottawa misses this year? Let's say
if Ottawa misses this year, he's gone next year.
Do you really think so?
Oh, fucking right. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Well,
I would agree. But I would be the guy, even if New York wasn't saying that, I would go to the GM and say, listen, this isn't working. Like, I'm trying, and I'm pulling my weight, right? You look at the stats. I'm pulling my weight.
Tim,
but it's not, I'm not happy now.
Batherson hat trick last game, so that's nice to see somebody else step in there. I mean, they beat Anaheim. We're at the critical mass point right now.
Was Trouba playing for Anaheim at the time?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was. Okay.
Yeah. Him and Gudas were both out there. Ottawa just waxed them. They controlled the entire game from start to finish.
I didn't see it at all.
Yeah.
I was, anyhow, it doesn't really matter about that. What I was going to say is I think that if Ottawa does not make the playoffs this year, you're going to get disgruntled. Okay. And you're going, and he's going to say,
well, this is
we got to look at this.
We want the hard opinions.
And well, that's my opinion anyway. I can say it. Okay, let's move on from that.
All right.
And let's talk about something else.
So you're saying Brady's done in Ottawa?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that the Senators had better fucking make the playoffs, okay, and better start moving forward. That's what I'm saying. So,
I know.
Okay.
I know. But you're saying if they don't this year,
why the fuck would he want to stay?
He's going to go to Staios and say, "Get me the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd say, you know what? I think it might be best.
I don't think he will.
And listen, you can get for Brady Tkachuk, you could get a
boatload.
Yeah. So might help the team to do that.
At the end of the day, to your point, that if you're not getting it done, what's the definition of idiotic, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Exactly.
So
and look at it this way. There was this trade one time, okay? I think it was like 1966. Chicago Blackhawks, Boston Bruins. Did it not work out best for both teams?
67.
67, okay.
Yeah, but you were very close.
Okay,
it's
I
impressive.
was. Yeah, but did it not?
15th, by the way.
But did it not? Fuck. Okay, but did it not work out for both teams better?
You know what? I mean, Pitt Martin was an excellent Blackhawk.
He was a phenomenal Blackhawk.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, they got very little mileage out of, no mileage really out of Jack Norris, and they got a little bit of mileage out of Gilles Marat. Ended up shuffling him off. But, I mean, Martin was at least by Chicago in that trade. We're talking about the Phil Esposito trade.
That's right,
Chicago. Obviously, Boston did way better.
So, but it was Espo and Hodge.
And Stanfield.
And Stanfield.
Freddie Stanfield. Freddie went on the power play with Bobby. Hodge and Cashman were the wings for Espo. So Boston benefited significantly more. However, Pitt Martin was a little bit of a, took a little bit of, I mean, he went on the line right away with Jimmy Pappen and Dennis Hull. And they had a couple of outstanding.
You know where Jimmy
seasons.
Pappen's from, eh?
Northern Ontario boy.
Yeah. He's Cape-Rel boy. Yeah.
Cape-Rel?
Yeah. It's a Sudbury area. But
Sudbury area.
Yeah, we like to, but I gotta like to throw those things in.
Man. Anytime you get a chance to say something about Northern Ontario, do it.
Absolutely.
Jump in and do it.
Okay, perfect.
Land of the tough guys, according to Goldie Goldthorpe.
Is he? Yeah. Well, he's from there. He's from Horn.
He's from Horn Pain, but I mean, Thunder Bay is his heart. Thunder Bay is where his heart is for sure. But I mean, Horn Pain is where he grew up until the town exiled him.
Do you know what people in Sudbury call people from Thunder Bay?
No.
They don't. They don't ever fuck. They actually try to avoid them. They're not even friends on Facebook. That's.
Because Goldie calls it Teabag Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
Teabag Bay, land of the tough guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
So true.
So we were going to talk about something. Oh, you know what I was going to talk about?
All right.
And I'm only going to do this just briefly. We're going to scan by it here. All right. But I'm going to say that, your Canadians are looking good, eh? Aren't they looking good? Wow, boy. I'll tell you. Listen. Any other team would have lost 27-2.
Maybe. Like a Pee Wee B team, maybe. I tell you what, that was terrible last night, and that's the fourth time this year. Fourth time this year they've been waxed, including a couple times at home, on the road, doesn't matter. Then they bounce back and they kind of scratch and claw their way back to about that 430, 440 winning percentage like they just had done. They had won 3 out of 4 games on the homestand, looking maybe like, Pittsburgh aren't world beaters. They score first, beautiful goal. Caulfield sets up Suzuki. It's a gorgeous goal. They're rolling, and again, it's just an internal collapse that just rivaled those other blistery losses, and they lose by a converted touchdown. So on home ice, 6 goals in the third period by the Penguins. It was terrible. Here's the thing, really, and I'm going to use your expression. Here's the thing, if Monty isn't stopping bullets, which he wasn't last night, he had his first dog game in probably 5 weeks. Yeah. They threw in Primo. Primo, after this season, Chris, I don't think he's cut out for the NHL. I don't know how he's ever going to rebound from this. I really, really don't. I know he's still a young man, relatively speaking, and goalies mature later, but he's going to have to do it somewhere else. He is so fragile here in net in Montreal. And then the rest of it was just the guy's collapse. Yeah, terrible game. Now they got to go on the road, and they're going into Winnipeg tomorrow night. By the time this airs, they'll have already probably...
They'll have lost 11.
Throwing in some other duds, I'm sure. Listen, they weren't expected to make the playoffs this year. However, I did predict...
They're not expected to make Christmas.
No, they may not at this point.
I mean,
and yet they're the 5th worst.
There's
4 teams worse than them.
I know, Ottawa being one of them.
No, well, Ottawa's ahead.
Oh, Ottawa's ahead now?
Ottawa's ahead of Montreal. No, they always have been.
Oh, have
they're
they?
ahead of Montreal.
I don't know. You know what? I don't like to look at... it's like... I don't like to look at the standings. Okay?
Ottawa's
it's a lot like... You know what it's also like? It's like looking at the at the scale. You don't want to look at that. You don't want to just... I know what the answer is. I don't want to fucking look at it.
I love getting on the scale.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're a goof. Okay? Like, fuck you. Like this, I can't, no matter what I fucking do, you know what I'm going to go on, eh? You know what
I wish I could gain weight.
Kristen wants me to take that needle, that you take there, the, what do you call that? The heroin? She wants me to get on that. And, because never seen a heroin addict with a weight problem, right?
That's a good point.
No teeth. But with Trudeau's new healthcare plan, I'm gonna get dental work. So I think maybe that's where I'm headed.
In less than a year, brother.
Yeah.
All over in less than a year.
If
unless we become the 51st states before then, or
hey, fucking, that's actually scary. Because here's my thought on that. Okay.
Yeah.
He said it as a joke initially, but now it's fucking percolating in his head. Right?
Yeah.
And he is a grandiose thinker.
Wow,
he's a fucking lunatic. No.
Who cares what anybody says about it?
No,
it's such a joke.
Trump sees himself on Mount Rushmore.
He sees
himself.
I get that. But
so to him, he might say...
bearing on us ever becoming American.
What? He could send the fucking military in
of course
and annex
not.
Canada.
What's he going to do?
What? Hitler wouldn't do that to Austria? Come on. I mean, you could have these people, he could go in and say, you know what?
1939, a little bit different.
You know what? I don't know. And I don't think anybody around the world would fucking stand up and do a goddamn thing against the Americans beating up Canada, because nobody likes Canada anymore. Okay? We are no longer the liked nation in the world.
I think we are. If you go on the road outside this country, outside our borders, we're still loved.
Ask anybody in Ireland what they think of fucking... Anybody... Like, they don't like Canada anymore.
What?
They like the... No. Our Canadian government for the past fucking 10 years almost...
Beaver and I were pub hopping there. We were met very warmly.
Yeah. Oh, because you're an individual. But if you ask anybody what they think of Canada, okay, your man there, Trudeau. That's your man there, Trudeau. Okay. They go on and they virtue signal around the world when they're pieces of shit themselves.
Yeah.
And people are done. They're done. They don't want to... And they don't want... And frankly, it's embarrassing as a Canadian who really loves traveling the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay? But now I don't want to tell people I'm Canadian because...
But it's over in 9 months. It's over.
Yeah. What's born in 9 months? That's the problem.
Well...
In 9 months you can do a lot. Fucking Trump is in power. Like, so he's going to put on these tariffs.
January 20th.
And then we're going to shut off their power.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, okay, we're going to go and get the power.
He's not going to throw the tariffs on us. They'll find a solution. They'll find a solution.
Well, I hope so. And you know what?
He just wants Trudeau to say, tighten up the friggin' border. He just wants to hear the words.
But that's horseshit. That's a game, because the border is not the fucking problem. The northern border is not the fucking problem. Now, I will tell you this. Our immigration policy is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, and I would actually support a North American economic community like the Euro, like the EEC over there. I would support that. Okay? Where we were able to, and we utilized one currency, okay, which unfortunately would be the US dollar, but then we wouldn't have this fucking exchange rate bullshit, losing money, this and that, when, you know, we'd be able to work economically together.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's inevitable, but I believe that now he's got it in his head, and he's got some fucking warmongers in his head going, manifest destiny, Mr. Trump, or President Trump, manifest destiny. This is you.
No artillery takeover. I mean, that's ridiculous even to suggest.
They could just walk in. They don't have to. There's not even a weapon. Fucking Trudeau took away all our guns. I have a pellet gun left. That's it. That's all I have. Okay? I don't, you know, I mean,
good luck when they get to Perth. They're not taking Perth.
Yeah, well, listen, as much as I love, you know, the hunters with 3-on-3s.
Yeah.
Okay? The ARs and the fucking M16 machine guns, they can do a lot of damage with it, you know, and that's not even going to happen. But the point is that it's a scary thought.
It was it was an interesting exchange. I found, I don't follow it anywhere near as close as you, but it was impossible to ignore because it was such a grandiose statement to make, and it blew up on everybody's media. However you digest your media, it was on everywhere about Trump saying that, and with Trudeau being down there and how he was, how he was badly embarrassed in the whole exchange, and just absolutely, he's treated like a grade school child, really.
Yeah, like
what it looked like
a grade school drama teacher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, you know what I mean? Who virtue signals? And listen, I don't particularly think that, I don't agree with everything that Trump does, and I hazard to say, or I'm apprehensive to say that I don't like a lot of things about Donald Trump. And I don't think I'm the only person out there who feels that way. But I also like to visit my children who live in the United States. Yeah, so I don't want to piss anybody off, okay?
Yeah, good point by you. They're both living down there.
You know, but that being said, okay, we have to be better friends to the United States.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I was having this conversation. I had the conversation, and I'm going to get into this, but I had a conversation with Evan. And I said, you know what, like, we're the best trading partner, we're the best friends. And Evan, who is he grew up here, he's a Canadian, okay?
Yeah.
Who happens to have, through birth, U.S. citizenship, okay? But he said, really? Canadians are Americans' best friends? Your friend talks behind your back. They think you're a piece of shit. They say, tell everybody you're fucking this and that you're crazy. That's not a friend. If you had a friend at home who talked the way Canadians talk about Americans, okay, that's not a friend. So if you think that we're the best friends America has, think about how you fucking talk about and treat them. If you are a piece of shit and talk behind their back and say and all these things, then you're not North America. You're not the American's friend. Okay, you're a turncoat. Mm-hmm. And so we need to be responsible for our own feelings and our own actions as well. You can't treat people like shit and then expect them to say, oh yeah, you're my friend? Oh, I thought, you know what I mean? Like, you know what kind of friends we are? We're the friends who's going to invite you to the park and then swarm them and fucking beat the shit. That's what we're doing, because we're lying to them if we're saying we're their friends.
Like what happened to Paul Bissonnette in the restaurant.
Because what was the date?
That was the...
And it was in Arizona. We were talking about. It was
in Arizona.
Yeah, we didn't know the date, but it was like I don't know.
Yeah,
like, I thought you had memorized the date and time of day.
Actually.
Oh well, see,
no.
Commit these things to memory.
Well, I don't think it's necessary for me to go that far with it, but it has been an interesting story, and some of the video has surfaced as well.
Oh, is that right?
From the restaurant's cameras, yeah. So it's and now everything that's been unearthed about these guys is the Irish travelers and how they move around as a
they're gypsies.
They're gypsies.
They call them travelers. They call them the Romani.
You know what they were called in Ireland back in the day?
What?
Tinkers.
Tinkers, yes, tinkers. Well, because yes, then they would do a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. They were tinkers, but they were also they're called travelers now,
yeah.
and they're Romani. Okay, they're gypsies.
Yeah,
they don't like the
people.
term gypsies anymore because we started using the term "don't try to gyp you."
Right.
That was where that came from, right? Oh, that's derogatory. Okay, so the terminology that we used because you were swindling us. We labeled you as somebody who does that, so we label that, but that's a racist comment because you were doing this. You know what? Anyways, and listen, I met some really nice Romani people, by the way, when I was in Europe, in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Okay, and I went to it was a wedding. There was a wedding when I was there. And I was invited to go to the wedding. It was really a fun time. They were super nice people and a great party. This was probably, it's got to be 27 years ago because Evan's,
Right.
So, lovely time, lovely people, everything like that. But, there is a reputation out there.
Yeah.
And reputations are earned. I don't care what anybody says, okay? If you're a community of people and you have a reputation, it's earned. That's the fact. It's earned. It's not because I'm making this shit up.
No. This has been, their whole cult has been unearthed here.
Their culture,
Their culture, their whole way of life. What these groups, and this is just one particular group here that got involved with Bissonnette, but there's others that have come to light. People have been commenting, talking about their areas, their towns, where they live, and these people come in and the shit they start. It's not only just a bad business, but we're talking about physical confrontations and what they do and stuff like that.
It's intimidation.
It's 2024. Yeah. What the hell's going on?
But we have that here in Ottawa.
You get a group of the boys and you go meet these guys and you fucking deal with it.
You can't do that anymore.
What are you talking about? Look what just happened.
I know that. But the only reason that Bissonnette isn't going to jail or anything like that is one, it's the United States. Okay, at least they have that. Two, he was defending somebody.
Right.
He did not go to teach them a lesson. You go somewhere to teach somebody a lesson, then guess what? You're fucked.
Well,
you're going to jail for doing that.
If they've come into these communities, as it's being stated on, I'm reading off Twitter here,
right?
And
has got all of the best information.
Well, it has a first-hand report of a lot of information. I mean, it's a readable and very available tool.
I don't even know how to use it. Like I've gone on there a couple times.
I'm just seeing Twitter as an example because I think there's others that you could probably get the same information from. But what I've been gleaming is that these groups, and sad to say that appears as if there's an Irish connection to in some way, shape, or form.
Well,
maybe it's generations.
The Romani don't consider themselves Irish countrymen, or because they're all over Europe.
Yeah, fair enough.
There. So they're not Irish. I know,
it was disturbing to hear that this group anyway that was involved with Biz were in fact labeled
Irish?
as such allegedly. I mean, they're Americans. But, so who knows how many generations back? Like most are probably, 6, 7, 8 generations, whatever. So you're American, Irish, whatever the case may be. But, holy lifting. How are you not wandered into the wrong town where, you go try and pull that shit in all these towns around here? What do you think's going to happen? I mean, you go one night and you hammer somebody, and you're somebody who's come in, you've settled in or whatever, and or a transient group, and it's allegedly their business is paving, right? They come and we want to pave your driveway. Okay. And it's all a scam, right? They just get the money, they don't do the job, they fuck off, they do this, that, and whatever. We've
got a bit of that happening here in Ottawa too, right?
Well, yeah. Sure. Look, you can go on anywhere and someone will say, hey, I paid, I didn't get the job done. Right. That happens. I get that.
I never pay until the job's done. They'll go, well, you got to get, no, I said, I'll tell you what, okay? You don't want to do the job, don't do the job. Do the job, I will pay you. You don't trust me? Guess what? I don't fucking trust you. How the fuck am I supposed to trust you? I'm the one with the money. You want the money? Do the work. Then I'll give you the money. Yeah, and that's the problem. It's fucking society. Oh, no, I need the money up front. Well, then you know what?
What about down payment?
On what?
For anything, like, you know, if you're, you know, you got somebody.
Am I getting anything in return?
Well, their service.
No, until they give a down payment on the work. That's a promissory note. Fuck that. I don't do it. I had it happen once. Okay. One time when Chris and I were first married, our first home on View Mountain Drive. Yeah. Right. Okay. I needed eaves trough and flashing. We did that done. I got fucked. Okay. Wasn't even that much. I mean, to us it was a lot of money, but when you think about it in the big context of things, and the guy didn't come back. You know what I mean? So I got scammed, and from that day forward, I will never try, because you know what?
That makes sense.
He doesn't know me, and so he doesn't trust me. So how does he know I'm going to pay? Well, because if I sign a contract saying I'm going to pay something, he has something to take to court to force me to pay.
Right.
Okay? Now, if I pay for something, I got to chase him around. Fuck that. You do the work, then I'll pay you. And anybody who wants to ever do work for me, you're going to do the work, and then I'm going to pay you. And I promise I pay. I have never in my life stiffed anybody.
No, me
okay?
Too. Yeah.
And but I will not go out and give that. And so I say this, and this is I don't want to have the Romani people angry with me for saying these things, okay?
Yep.
Because not all Romani are like that. There are certain groups of bad apples that make everybody look bad.
Okay. Yeah.
So I you know what I mean?
That's who I'm referring to specifically.
Yeah, these bad apples.
I can't even generalize because I don't even know.
But you have that in every community.
This culture that allegedly is actually much more predominant than I was led to believe.
Oh,
I mean, what's come out on Twitter since business thing and when it was unearthed about these guys, in particular this group of 6.
Yeah.
And their group, they're a subsidiary of a larger group, but I mean other groups, so many people have come to the fore saying, hey, listen, we've got this in our town, that in our town. Yeah. That's my only comment is, how are you rolling into the rurals of the Ottawa Valley and pulling that shit off? I'm not talking about scamming. That happens all the time. But how are you going into, these guys, before they got into a biz, were at a golf course and intimidating other people. They physically struck a woman. Really? They struck a woman. And you know, a woman's trying to beat these guys off, and he's hitting her. And the other guy, the manager, comes in. He looks like about $155, whatever, and they're smacking him around. And these were the guys.
Is that a golf course?
There's a golf course in Arizona somewhere.
Well, first of all, I just want to say this. They have all women gyms. They have all women like clubs, stuff like that. There should be an all women's golf course. Because I love women, but I don't need them in front of me when I'm hitting, because fuck, it takes the fucking time. Maybe these guys were just pissed off because they were taking too long.
Could be.
I'm joking. There's no reason they should have done that. And you know what? I'll tell you, they would have gotten my fucking 7-iron right across the head.
Well, this is my point. You know, like, how are they going anywhere? Like, if that's your son or daughter. If it's your son right now, tackling him might be the wrong idea.
Well, no, but you know what? No, when you got 6 guys, I don't care. Like,
well, unless you're biz, and he had to run to survive.
Yeah,
at the end.
That's right.
And even though he knocked a few of them out or half out or whatever, he was still fighting for his life there. It looked at one point. Yeah. The camera doesn't show much. It does show him drilling one of the really good.
You know what bothers me? Nobody jumped in to fucking help him.
Well, the camera shows the guys. People exiting the restaurant, and that was tough to look at because, boy, I'll tell you, I know I wasn't alone in that, and I'm nobody, but I mean, there's no way you could sit there and watch something like that happen. There's no.
If I knew that something was happening, I saw this all go down.
That's my point in all of it.
You don't. I mean, sometimes you don't know what's going on, but at least you try to get what happened. And I'm not one to just want to jump in to fight, but I fucking if I see some guy getting the shit kicked out of him.
Let me put it to you this way. You've gotten to know Bubba a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? And we can probably end it on this note and finish up whatever hockey may be left to talk about. But when you get a chance to see him next, and I know you see him around at hockey and stuff, just ask him about Hemingway's.
Okay.
Just.
By the way, it used to be the best wings in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
There was some wings there that night.
Oh, yeah?
But I wasn't there, but Todd was there.
Yeah?
And you know, it's just a story about, you know, going back to right or wrong.
Yeah.
And you know, that's my point in all of this is that these guys, I don't know how in 2024, especially in the States, when it seemingly half the population carries. Like, I don't know how.
But it's not half the population doesn't carry, and these are all false. But I will say this:
I think there's a lot more people with guns that aren't BB guns like you have in the States than there are in certainly in Canada. Let's be honest.
I want to rephrase that. It's not a BB gun. Okay, it's a pellet gun.
Okay,
it's very different. It's far more powerful than the BB gun, right? And but I will tell you this: a lot of people do carry their firearms in their golf bag. Wow. So there is a thing. So and the reason they do that is because has been a significant rise in not golfer on golfer violence, but people coming onto golf courses.
Yeah.
Okay, and people are vulnerable, right? Mm-hmm. They know they've got their wallet's probably in their golf bag. They got, you know what I mean?
Oh, they're coming to be robbed on golf courses?
Oh yeah, people are.
I didn't even know this.
Oh, these are things that happen that and so.
It's a dangerous world out there, brother.
At times, and you know what? I will say this. There's always the 7-iron. Okay, or for me, I would probably use my mashie.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would mash.
Yeah, I would use the mashie.
Everything would snap right over somebody.
Exactly.
And you'd go, what
you got to no, but the thing is, you got to hit.
Got marshmallows?
You got to hit them with the sweet spot.
Yeah.
So it's a smaller sweet spot, but boy,
Man, you struggle to hit a ball with one of those. How are you going to hit somebody?
Well, a bigger head, Okay. Now, next piece of the puzzle is what else are we going to talk about? I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
Well, listen,
we've talked about everything but hockey.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But that's okay. That's what people want.
I don't know if that's what they want.
No, they do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something else. Okay? I'm going to tell you something else.
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking about the hockey.
Yeah.
Right? At least we're talking about something that might be of interest. I'd love to hear from people if they watch this, comments on, we're just two guys talking. And like when we first designed this, it was going to be two guys talking in a bar about hockey. It was kind of the whole idea behind it.
Yeah.
And so right now, okay, so we digress. We got off and we go off on tangents, just like we would in a pub. I don't see anything at all wrong with it. And I know you like to talk about this, about what happened, but you know what? Everybody, go get Darren Drager. Okay, go and do, offside with Drager and McGuire. Because here we get to do something interesting.
No, I understand that, but if there's not hockey, then I'm not involved in the show.
Well,
I mean, it's. I know. The show to talk.
That's what
I'm not on the show to discuss. We had a nice digression, which you and I.
We do. We tend to do.
We do quite a bit.
Yeah.
I got no
We started talking about hockey.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So how do you want to end? Let's go back to hockey then.
Yeah, we got to do for Shoeless Joe's. We got this.
Oh, yeah, you got this day.
But before we get there, I got nothing more to say other than in regards to the Habs, they bounced back from those other losses. We'll see what happens. They're going on the road. They even get 2 wins. I don't know how long the trip is. I think Christmas. But they've got a bunch of games coming here on the road. They were terrible last night. Whenever people watch this, we'll see what happens between now and then. But and whereas Ottawa, as we sit here, Chris, have got 2 massive games. They're in Carolina tonight. It's the only game on the schedule. And they've got Pittsburgh is in Ottawa waiting for them after waxing the Habs last night. They will not do that to Ottawa. Ottawa's a much better team than Montreal. However, that's a tough back-to-back because you got travel, even though it's not tremendously far.
Yeah.
But there's 2 big games for Ottawa. They've closed within 4 points of the wild card. They've got 3 teams between them, though.
Yeah.
They've got games in hand on pretty much everybody with the exception of Tampa. But Tampa's... looks like, and it's just so freaking close. My comment is, Ottawa can control their own destiny here, and they need now to make this statement so that what you think might happen if in fact they miss the playoffs this year doesn't happen if they miss and Brady says, "Get me out of here."
Right.
And I think a lot of people do think if they continue to miss, he will not finish the term here. I would go so far as to say that. I don't think it would be next year if they do miss. Put it this way, and I'll finish on this note in regards to Ottawa. Stolarz got hurt last night for Toronto. Wall will carry the mail. They'll put in somebody else. They're going to back into a playoff spot, no problem. And the Habs are the Habs. And there's nothing really else. Connor McDavid's goal this week. Did you see it? Jesus, Murphy. I mean, it doesn't look like much, except when you watch it maybe the third time and you realize that those D thought they were in perfect position. He just went wham!
Well, yeah, because he's basically going 20 miles an hour faster than anything else that's out there, and you get that, and it's like. Whew.
Aren't you excited for the formation though? A little bit.
Well, I'm going to just say one thing. That simplicity of that goal, right? Which, by the way, I like those goals, right? Yeah. That's my kind of goal. Okay. I'll go okay. So, but.
He just snapped that upstairs.
Yeah, no, but but he made him feel like he was going to the other side. Did you not? That was that he did.
I suppose because he did on the breakaway that he had earlier.
But he did
a breakaway earlier. And he went to the other side.
Yeah, that's right. So, but he did the shoulder drop. Yeah. And then he put it up. So that was the anyway. The Four Nations.
Yeah, aren't you excited for this, man?
No, actually, you know what?
I can't wait.
I don't know, because you know what? You said something last week that made me think that this is just a fucking Disney episode, like Disney show.
Oh yeah, it's made for TV.
It's Disney on Ice.
But we get McDavid and Sid on the same team, and to me, it's all worth it. The Americans have an incredibly strong roster. So do the Finns, and so do the Swedes.
Right. I want to see them on the Olympic team together.
Well, you will.
I want to see that.
Continue his
pace.
I
think he can. I mean, listen, no matter what, Sydney, you want to keep there. I mean, I know what I want to talk about. Okay. So before we leave, because when I think about Sidney Crosby, who is probably one of the best two-way players in the NHL.
Yeah.
Right? Okay? He's got everything that there is. Plus, he's responsible in the back end. He's fucking strong as an ox, even though you don't even realize it. But he's there. Okay? Something came up about the Calder Trophy. Okay? Who are the nominees for the Calder Trophy? Blah, 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 blah. And so a buddy of mine who is from out west, you know who he thinks is going to win the Calder Trophy?
No.
Wolf, the goaltender.
The goaltender
for Calgary.
Calgary, yeah.
Okay? And I'm saying, there's not a fucking... When's the last time a goaltender won the Calder Trophy? Fucking Dryden?
No, there's been many goalies.
Really?
Since then. Yeah. Well, Dryden was 71. Then you had Tom Barrasso.
Okay.
1984. Just run through the list really quickly here. You had Nabokov with San Jose.
Okay.
That was in 2001. Then let's see, you had Andrew Raycroft with 2004. There's another goalie, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Liam
16,
can count.
17, going through the winners.
Yeah.
18, I think.
So it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Okay, so he thinks that. And so, and then you can, people say, well, no, you know.
It's a good thought, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other one is, my mind's right, the kid from Philadelphia.
Well, he's the leading contender, the Russian, Mitch.
Yeah.
However you say it.
You know.
Mitchkov.
Yeah, whatever.
Mitchkov, yeah.
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Hitchcock.
He's kind of been number one with a bullet from the start of the season.
But I say I don't. So and I'm going to compare.
Until the last 2 weeks.
Compare the players. Okay.
Well, Celebrini.
Celebrini. So here's the Celebrini, who is he's a Sidney Crosby. He is a young Sidney Crosby. He fucking goes both ways. He can play. He's got a great playmaker, great scorer, and he's great defensively.
You know he's eligible for the World Juniors?
Yeah.
He doesn't even turn 19 till June.
Wow. But they won't let him go.
Connor Bedard's eligible. No, we're not getting him. But that's my point. You imagine if those guys played?
I know.
Like, this happens to gold every year. It'd be ridiculous.
But back to the Mitchkov guy, right?
Yeah. Well, he's outstanding.
But he's an Ovechkin. He's an offensive force only. He is not the...
I wouldn't be so quick. He's actually got more assists and goals right now. He's averaging almost a point a game. As we tape this, I think they've played.
What's his plus minus?
He's +5.
Okay, and what's Celebrini's plus minus?
He's a
plus,
minus.
No. He's a fucking plus 8,000. No, he's major plus 24 or something. He's really up there. You know what? I don't have my phone. We can't look it up.
Well, mine's there, but maybe you're right.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Google really eliminates the ability to horse shit in this world. Okay? Because previously I could have said
+5.
I could have said, celebrate. Oh yeah, he's plus 24. Absolutely. He's plus 49. He is actually going to break Larry Robinson's record for plus minus in a season. I could say all that shit.
Bobby Orr has the record.
Okay, Bobby Orr has, and that's what I meant. Bobby Orr, greatest hockey player ever.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Until the next greatest hockey player came around, Wayne Gretzky.
Connor McDavid does things that nobody's ever done with the puck.
No, you're right.
So I'm starting to get asked questions. Liam, where are you going to slot him in? Where are you going to slot in Sidney Crosby in his career? Like, when does he start getting recognized? He is one of the greatest of all time, but where's he on the list? Where's Connor on the list?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think there needs to be new lists.
Sit down over many, many, many beers.
So, well, true. But I you know what I believe? I believe, and the same thing, people ask me the same thing about comedians.
Yeah.
Right? And because the different comedians come along and they're, and honestly, I think it has to do with era. You have to take the era and the best of that era.
Yeah.
So Bobby Orr.
The fun is comparing the era.
Right, but okay, when you take the best of the eras, okay. So let's face it, you got Bobby Orr.
Right.
You've got Wayne Gretzky.
Greatest defenseman of all time, greatest offensive force of all time.
Right.
Those two guys.
Okay, but okay. I mean, then you move on. Okay, then you got Sidney Crosby.
Right.
Okay, and some might argue like Gretzky and Lemieux were around the same time, and Gretzky but Lemieux is certainly in that argument, right?
He is for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get you have these guys of all time. I don't believe that you can rank those people because it's like apples and oranges, not apples and apples.
Of course it is.
No, it's not because
I'm agreeing.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
But that's the fun of it is you have to rank them.
But you can't.
You can.
I'm not doing it. I refuse. I just think that when you get into that realm, they're the greatest.
That's the fun of it.
They're the you know what? There's a hockey Mount Rushmore, right?
Oh, they talk about it all the time.
Right.
Chronologically, it's Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux. But before
okay,
Mario,
so time out though. And I, this is how do you not?
That's the Mount Rushmore.
The Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
okay.
For 90% of all people who actually watch hockey,
right?
That's the Mount Rushmore.
Okay. So my question is then where does the Rocket go?
Yeah.
And where does the Flower go?
They're in the top 10.
Right.
Yeah.
And so again, you have to look at it. These are the legends. These are the great. I mean, they're not even legends. They're icons. Like whatever.
Well, who had a better career, Sidney Crosby or Rocket Richard and Jean Beliveau? Who had a better career?
Oh, probably Beliveau had the best career.
Well, how do you define? I mean, Beliveau won 10 Stanley Cups, but he was the sum of a lot of parts.
Right.
So
and he was a gentleman, and
well, he wasn't a gentleman his first 5 years in the NHL. He was an absolute holy terror. He fought the world, ripped heads off, shit down throats. He led the Habs in penalty minutes.
So that he could later be a gentleman.
He led the NHL in penalty minutes. Yes, nobody knows this, but regardless, the point is that he was a gentleman throughout the bulk of his career.
Yes.
But not the first 5 years.
Okay.
That said, who's a better player? Who's had a better career? Sidney Crosby has done more for a longer period of time at a higher rate than either Rocket or Jean Beliveau did. Sidney Crosby needs to be ranked ahead of both of them on any top list.
Okay. You know what? And I'm cool with that. You're the Habs fan.
I am the Habs fan, but you've got to take your fandom out of it, especially me, what I purport to be as I travel around North America. Right. I can't be the guy that's going to go up there and just wave the Montreal banner when people ask a question.
Then why the fuck do you do it here all the time?
I do it here when it needs to be done. It's just coincidentally the dates, this day in hockey brought to you by Shoeless Joe's. It's Bob Gainey's birthday today.
Oh, is it Bob Gainey? You know what? So I was going to say, you know how I was going to lead into the Shoeless Joe's?
Oh.
So this was I had it in my head. Yeah. It occurred to me as we were going on. You said that Pittsburgh's here in town waiting for Ottawa to return to play tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
They should go to Shoeless Joe's.
That's what I was saying. So you know where they're going tonight?
Shoeless Joe's.
They're going to Shoeless Joe's.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to do, and then I was going to say, oh, by the way. So I was like,
They'd love it in Kentville. That would be awesome to see a bunch of those guys roll into Kentville.
Wow. Here's the thing. I think Sidney Crosby would do something like that.
If there was something worked out ahead of time, and they said, we got transportation worked out, grab 4 or 5 of the guys, we want you to go, because you go into Shoeless Joe's in either location.
Yeah.
I love the Kentville one, and we were just there a couple weeks ago, and the NFL was on. They've got the 3 big screens, like facing this way, screens over the bar, all through the bar. Like, it is set up, man. You want to go in and see sports. But the food is so good, too.
Do they have like a porn night where they put porn on all that?
Jeff? Over to you, Jeff.
Yeah,
let us know.
You just invite everybody.
Hey, it is, all kidding aside, it's Gainey's birthday today. But also, the only other thing I got is Paul Coffey.
It's his birthday, too?
It's not his birthday, but on this date in 1995, he became the first defenseman ever to record 1,000 assists in a career. Right. Obviously, Orr would have done it had he kept playing. But because nobody could match him offensively, but Paul Coffey was pretty damn good. And
it's funny
he was playing with Detroit at the time,
Yeah.
and he assisted on a goal scored by Igor Larionov against Chicago. So kudos to Coffey. He's become a bit of a friend. I've worked a bunch of.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So he's the only guy that I will say.
He's a really funny guy.
So he's the only guy that I will say is, in my opinion, as a defenseman, rivals Bobby Orr. I think he's the second. I think Bobby Orr, and I think Paul Coffey is number 2 in my assessment of the various eras of defensemen like that. I mean, it's offensive.
You'd be in the minority there. Most people are going to go Nick Lidstrom.
Well, no. So Nick Lidstrom was not the offensive force that Coffey was.
No,
Nick Lidstrom was the shutdown guy. He was the greatest skater. Right. He could fucking angle guys out.
Yes.
He was an Iron Man. He didn't get hurt.
Right.
We're like, but if you're
just talking offense.
Offensive defenseman.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so then of course Coffey is number 2. Although Ray Bourque is ahead of him, offensively in career numbers. So Coffey got him in a single season. Ray's got him in a career, but they're side by side.
You want the irony?
They're side by side.
Not only are they side by side, they wear the same fucking number.
Yeah. They did end up
with the same number.
With the same number.
They both had 77. They both had started with 7.
Yeah.
And both ended with 77.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Different reasons, but giving up his 7 and Paul not being able to get it when he switched around teams. Yeah. But Paul played for 9 NHL teams. Bourque, of course, just 2. So Paul, I think, was a handful.
And Bourque got a Stanley Cup before he retired.
Yes,
and you know what? I think it was a class move on the Bruins' part to let him go to Colorado to win that cup.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. It was. I mean, as much as you hate to see, because one of the reasons I bought my season's tickets the very first year, when you get the priority number, everything when the Senators came.
Yeah.
The reason I bought the tickets because I wanted to see Ray Bourque because Boston was coming a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. To watch Ray Bourque.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you this.
Awesome to watch
one of the cool things about Paul Coffey, a lot of people don't know this. Paul Coffey's skates were always too small for him. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Because he felt that he could move better, and he would go through skates.
Yeah.
Not as often as Bourque went through gloves.
Yeah.
Okay. But he would go through skates. You know how many gloves Ray Bourque used to use in a game? How many pairs?
Half dozen.
Yeah. Apparently six pairs of gloves a game.
Yeah.
And they would he would use them for shift. They go, they'd dry them, and they'd rotate through.
I was at the Sens game a week ago Sunday and was watching various players come off the ice and fire their gloves.
And get new ones.
Back, and get dry gloves throwing up. So that's all they're really doing is just get dry gloves because they're sweating so much out there. But that reminds me too about that Sens game. That was against the Islanders and that second goal. And that second goal that went in was the responsibility of the assistant coach who changed the D for the Ottawa Senators, made the wrong change. Anyway, not going to go back and split hairs on something that happened a million years ago. But at this point now, by the time you guys see this. However, it's interesting being at a game live. We had great seats.
Where were you? What seats?
We were in 105 row L, so we were
so you were high up. You were high up in one.
12 rows up off the ice, so you could
still see down.
Still see the far left corner there.
Yeah.
Just was like, had there been a fight, I would have probably stand on the seat, but but it was.
But it's Ottawa, so there wasn't a fight.
No, there wasn't. Although Brady will fight and has fought. Sometimes people don't like when he fights. I love it every time. And I think he's one of the better captains in the NHL.
I agree.
Think he's going anywhere, even if Ottawa misses this year.
Yeah, no.
But this weekend, by the time you people see this weekend,
what are you, Don Cherry?
You people out there, you made your grandiose statement. You think if Ottawa misses the playoffs, that Brady next year is going to want out.
Yeah, and it may take a year to trade him.
I'm going to say,
he'll go on a deadline.
If Ottawa beats Carolina tonight.
Yeah.
And we're December 13th. There's a lot of runway left here.
Yeah.
A lot of track left. I'm going to say if they beat Carolina tonight, they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, that's a bold statement.
I'm hanging my hat on one game, and I'm hanging it on this game tonight. They're coming off one of their better 60-minute efforts. Okay. I know it was only against Anaheim.
Right.
But
doesn't matter. You know what?
You got to get the W's.
Yeah.
And they need to string them together. Like the teams like Philadelphia, who have moved into a wild card spot, have gone 6-2-2 in the last 10. Ottawa's 5-4-1. Do the math. That's 14 points for the Flyers. Ottawa's got 11.
Yeah.
So there's 3 points the Flyers have picked up in the last 10 games by going 6-2-2. That's what you got to do to pick up points.
Yeah.
You need to go on this type of run to get to get into the, because you've got 3 teams to leapfrog here, and you're 4 points back, and Tampa's got a game in hand on you, and even though you've got 2 or 3 in hand on Boston, they're even further ahead, and they inexplicably will. I mean, they're minus 21 goal differential, the Bruins right now, and they're third in the division.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's one of 2 ways with Boston. They either get hammered or they win.
Yeah.
Or they lose. Seattle beat them 8-1.
No, I
talk about the Habs.
We don't talk about these things. These are negative things.
Anyway, I'm out of beer.
You're done?
Yeah.
Well, that means the episode's over.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is, so first of all, I want to say this, Merry Christmas to everybody. By the time you see this, it'll be probably the last one we do before Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. We might, whatever we could do.
Try to see with technology.
Yeah.
I've got the Morenz minutes going, which I've set up as a spin-off of Offside with Haas and McGuire. And depending on
where you get to talk about hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just me for 5 minutes. Talking hockey, basically on the night before.
That's 4.5 minutes longer than your sex with you.
Well, I hope Wendy doesn't see this, because she would totally agree.
Okay. Anyhow, so I didn't mean to carve you, but what else would I do?
What else should you? I mean, exactly. I'm here to be carved. It's all good. Hey. So I'll see you.
Oh yeah. Well, Merry Christmas to you, but also Merry Christmas to the people out there. We wish you a Merry Christmas. You want to break into song?
Not really.
Okay. This has been Offside with Haas and McGuire. I'm Haas.
I'm McGuire. G'day.